Yeah. Three o'clock at this time, we'll call the January 7th, 2021 Board of Education meeting to order. At this time, Mr. Charles Clark will lead us in the pledge. Stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, it's time to approve the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to be made? Okay, seeing none, I need your recommendation.
Madam President, I would recommend the board to approve the agenda.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Now is time for the superintendent's report. Ms. Usleton.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to start our superintendent's report today by honoring Principal Andy Orr. Mr. Orr passed away this past week. Mr. Orr has been principal of Lake High School since 2011. He had also served as assistant principal at DeSoto Central High School and as basketball coach at Olive Branch High School teacher. Mr. Orr is well respected all throughout the county, and just a huge loss for all of us. And I can speak for many, many people in the district. We not only lost a great leader, but we lost a great person and a great friend. Mr. Orr and I have been friends since the 1990s. We used to coach against each other. So big loss for all of us. And we make sure that we keep Rhonda, his wife, and Sadie, his daughter, her thoughts and prayers these next few days. And at this time, if everyone would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. I've got a couple of items on the superintendent's report today. The first thing I would like to talk about today is we'd like to welcome Mr. Barton to the board. Mr. Barton's already done the Pledge of Allegiance for us, but we would like to welcome him. Mr. Barton was elected in November to serve on the school board, and we're very excited to have you with us, Mr. Barton. We know that you will be a great addition to the board. Mr. Barton's got a wealth of experience in education as a teacher, coach, and principal, and he's served in about every area that you possibly can in education. We're excited to have you with us. We'll start out today with a state championship group. We always love to recognize our state champions, and this has become a very familiar group to our school board because it seems like just about every year we're recognizing this group for a state title. I'd like to introduce principal of Center Hill High School, Mr. Doug Payne. He will come forward and let us know about the state championship.
Thank you, Mr. Usleton and the board. This never gets old, even though this is the 13th state championship. This team has won. Some of these young ladies were just in kindergarten, first grade when we started winning them. So this is a great tradition that we keep passing on. It goes a lot of hard work. This year was especially special. I'll let Ms. Matthews tell you a little bit about that. I just want to recognize our sponsors, of course, Ms. Carrie Matthews. She can come on out. Ms. Chrissy Miller She's our coach. And Miss Lanelda Jones, who's not with us today, also helped sponsor. But they worked really hard. I told Miss Matthews I wasn't going to steal her thunder to let her talk about the thing, but we had some very big obstacles to get over right at the last minute of the COVID era, and they made some adjustments, and we still ended up winning. But I'll let Miss Matthews take it from here.
I'm gonna bring the kids, they're kind of hiding back there. It's interesting because I heard Mr. Payne even say these young ladies. This year
forgot about your hat.
has been because we had to learn to say young ladies and young men. You go all the way that way. We have 4 boys this year from the football team that are also on our hip hop. So they're doing our hip hop routine, and there's several girls that do hip hop and the game day. We got 2 state titles this year, and it was a little bit extra special for us because our boys needed to win that hip hop state title. That's the routine they're in. But we have a lot of girls that are in game day and not in hip hop, so we needed to win game day as well. So it was extra special for that reason, but also because we had a couple of obstacles with COVID. More than a couple, probably, along with every other team. We have dealt with quarantines. We've dealt with VIPs that haven't been with us since March of last year. But the day before state, we had 2 of our students, 2 of our dancers quarantined. So we had to redo both routines. We called an extra practice, and we are blessed with a coach that is also their choreographer. So if it wasn't for her, I don't know that we would have been able to pull it off. But these guys stayed late that night, redid the routine, even performed that night. Was that the night that we did it? But it was the only time we've ever performed the routine at a basketball game. So they redid it, performed it that night, and then went the next day and brought them to state trophies. So we're super proud of them. All right, I think we're ready to read some names for you. Our first one is Amari Dawkins. Yeah. Alex Edwards. Jade Fletcher. Davion Greenlee. Kimberly Hogwood. Mark Holmes. Katie Huey. Shay Johnson. Maddie Patterson. Alan Payne. Michaela Powell. Lanaya Randolph. Kamora Royston. Kenzie Sandridge. Morgan Sturlock. Emma Kate Taylor. Shayna Walker. Jesse Wells. Jill Wiggins. One that could not be with us, Nyla Jones. It's not here today. Thank you for inviting us and letting us come down. I'm super proud of you.
Right, congratulations. Yeah, great job. And this is, another example, this school year being as difficult as it is for everyone, students and student athletes, everyone, y'all persevered and y'all had goals going into it. We're able to accomplish it together, so we're very, very proud of y'all. Great job. We do want to get a picture of y'all. Actually, we got a couple of photographers behind y'all, so we can get y'all to kind of move over this area, and then we'll get a picture of y'all. For you, please. Thank you.
Come this way.
Yeah.
Y'all go that way. There's down there. Seniors in front. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
And make sure. Okay. My senior kind of near wall. Boys, I know you don't know that. Yeah. There you go. That's perfect.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Great job by the young ladies and gentlemen from Center Hill High School. Congratulations. Congratulations to the parents and family members who are here also. All right, at this time, we will move on to our teacher spotlight segment. We have our administrative team here from Hernando Elementary School. Not only do we have Ms. Triple here, we also have Ms. Jana Long in attendance, our assistant principal. Ms. Long is also Mr. Martin's daughter, so she's got 2 reasons to be here today. That's great. So we're glad to have you here. Ms. Triplett, if you could please come forward. Ask Mr. Renee Triplett, principal of Hernando Elementary School, to introduce her.
Mr. Usleton, Madam Chairperson, board members, I'm so excited that you invited us to be here today. 2 years ago, HES embarked on a new adventure. We're on a journey to become superheroes at Hernando Elementary. We encourage our students through our positive behavior intervention system to become a Hernando hero. We ask them to help, encourage, and respect others. We've implemented the Core Essential Values program for social and emotional learning that was purchased by the district. We're very thankful for that program. Today, our counselor, Ms. Ballou, will showcase HES and how we utilize this program and how our tiger cubs become super tigers. So I will present Ms. Ballou.
Good afternoon. Thanks all for having me here this afternoon. Get our show started. So I am very thankful and honored that the staff at Hernando Elementary School wanted to shine a spotlight on our mental health, social, emotional, and positive behavior programs, especially this school year. And we have a staff and PTA and volunteers that have worked really, really hard to make the school look and feel bright and fun and exciting to be in, despite the changes and the challenges that we face this school year. We have made a few changes to how they get in touch with me at school. We have some QR codes that teachers can scan with their cell phones to send a referral to me. All the referrals are made online through Schoology. It links to a referral or on my website. And the teachers really have been doing so much social emotional learning in the classroom thanks to the Core Essential Values program that we were blessed with this school year. I want you to think for just a second, who was your favorite superhero growing up? Is it one that's on the screen? Or maybe one that I missed? But think, why did you love that superhero? Was it their strength, some of their powers, cool gadgets? Maybe it was just their awesome outfit. That is why I loved Wonder Woman growing up. At Hernando Elementary School, we teach that our students can be a hero to everyone because you have the power to help, encourage, and respect others. Each of us have that power, and that is the basic power that each superhero had that we looked up to growing up. Our students really connect to the hero motto and the theme. Every 5, 6, 7-year-old knows a superhero and can identify with the strength and the power that they have. Our teachers have really taken hold of the program in the last couple of years. We had a first grade teacher come up with a superhero chant. She tells them to power up your superpower before you go out in the hallway or before you're getting around with other students, and that means put your mask on before we go out of the classroom. This year, a positive thing that I think has come out of the pandemic is that we have gotten to see and hear more about our own community superheroes, our own nurses and resource officers, janitorial staff, food service staff, our EMTs, our wonderful teachers are our own community superheroes. Our teachers do a unit every year on community helpers, and they have morphed that into community heroes to go along with our program. And the students have been able to engage and come up with more community helpers this year because they've been able to see and hear more of that going through the pandemic. And they write thank you letters to our community heroes and incorporate that into their language arts programs. See if this will pop up.
Tiger show respect.
We have a little
Tiger show respect.
super tiger cheer that they do when we need them to get quiet, like in the car rider line in the afternoon or out in the hallways. We run the program by starting the year off with that mindset. The teachers incorporate it when we start school into their classroom behavior. And it morphs so well with the core essential values program that I'm going to talk about in a second because they share the same values. We're helping and encouraging and respecting each other. And we incorporate it into the morning announcements. Ms. Triplett does a social emotional little lesson. We always have the Super Tiger song on Fridays. And I go into the classrooms this year once a month and do a reinforcement lesson on being a super tiger and the value of the month. Our teachers get to refer students to be a Super Tiger Cub or a Super Tiger class. We have these little slips available that our assistant principal came up with. And we actually started these and sent them out last spring. While we were out of school in the pandemic, the staff started to talk about on our Zooms and email each other that they noticed some students that are going above and beyond with distance learning and virtual learning. They were posting positive messages to their classmates on Facebook. They were sending their teachers extra science experiments and reading 20 more books than they had to. So the teachers started doing referrals for Super Tiger during quarantine, and we would mail these out, and they would get their award and their sticker in the mail. And we continue that this school year as well as giving them to the traditional learners at school in person. If you're a Super Tiger referral, you get a ticket in the Super Tiger box, and we draw 10 students out each month, and they get a tangible award with another Super Tiger big, and they get a shout out on Facebook for where our pictures are from. A class can be awarded by activity teachers. A lot of substitutes and different teachers went in the classrooms this school year to fill in and help out, and they would say the class acted like the super class. They displayed those hero behaviors, and I could go in and do a reward with that whole group class, like make a superhero mask or do a game with the whole group. And like I said before, the social emotional learning program that the district purchased for us, we are so thankful for. It's called Core Essential Values, and it has been so easy to implement even in a difficult year. Starting something new is not ever easy, but this has worked for us because of our teachers' efforts in implementing it into their classroom. I put it out there for them, and they use it. It is online videos that are short and easy to show in class. I post them monthly on Schoology under my counselor course, and our virtual students can watch them and participate in the lessons. And I go in and follow up with the guidance lesson each month. The teachers are using on their own initiative the crafts and activities and songs and dances to go with the lessons extra to what the videos and what I do in class. Our PE teacher even does a game once a month that is from the core essential values, and the kids have really enjoyed having the PE game. Their favorite was for September. There's an octopus game, there's a slideshow that helps friends stick together. The teachers even did a science portion on the ants for integrity for October. The teachers talked about how ants have pheromones on their legs, and they leave a little ant trail, and that's how they follow each other, so nobody can sneak off and do something without integrity. We see teachers printing off the worksheets and doing them with the students after they watch the videos. I mean, they watched it during snack, and they do worksheets later in the day to reinforce that value. And they wrote, little thank you notes to Nurse Night. I think that's a kindergarten sample there. Thank you for all that she has done for us this school year. And they have dance videos and songs, music videos. We know that kids love watching videos. And they will watch them either when they're packing up to go home, calm down, let's get going, or they'll do it, get up and move. We've got an example of one from December.
What do we have? We could all give
Here's an example of the PE game. A team of 8 playing stick together. The octopus and the serpent with them with her tentacles. So you can see that the program works well with our young students. When the district was looking for programs, it was hard to find something that came all the way down to our age, and we really love it, and our teachers have made it work. I can put it out there, but the teachers are using it and making it work. So this is definitely working for us and them. We added these kindness calendars. I think Tawana and the social work team put these out during quarantine, and I decided to send them out to teachers and post them on Schoology. It's an action for happiness, and it has something to do every single day that can promote happiness in your life. And during these times, I know that we all needed something positive every single day because the days got kind of hard. And an example of how these calendars paired so well with our value each month is December was Do Good December, and it paired with our generosity value. And on the 15th, the teachers had students write Christmas cards to elderly in the community, like sending them to Westland Meadows for Christmas. So it is the teachers taking the values and adding it into their lessons. January's value just happens to be responsibility. And I think it is a good reminder that we are still responsible for the things that we need to do to help meet the student socially, emotionally, and academically. And I think our teachers at Hernando Elementary School are really working hard at this school year. Here is an example of what one of the videos looks like from Core Essential Values. The guy that does these is so fun. The kids usually watch it during snacks.
Kids! You. Yeah, you. I can see inside your head. No, don't. I really can't. I mean, I can see that you want more. A few more minutes to stay up before bedtime. A chance to be on the traveling team, and maybe even the opportunity to care for a pet. Oh. Here's the thing. How do we show people who trust us with things that we can be trusted to follow directions and stick to it? Well, let's look at it this way.
Does anybody want more this year? We've had a lot of things taken away or taken back from us. I would like to have more time with family and friends. I would like more this year, but doing more means taking on more responsibility. I think we have responsibility to our students and our families and our staff to follow safety guidelines at schools, where that's a responsibility we've all taken on and added, and to see each other when it's safe. And we have a responsibility to do all that we can for our students to end the year strong. I can see at Hernando Elementary that we have grown through this school year. Knew it would be challenging going in, and we made some changes, and we have had the opportunity to help each other and work with each other in ways that I don't think would have happened in any other circumstance. And Hernando Elementary has grown in their social emotional program, and that's due to the teachers' efforts. They are working hard with the students in class. This is an example of their responsibility sheet that they do after their videos. Student talked about he's gonna take on his pet he got for Christmas. I love the sheet too because they tell the parents how they were feeling at school that day. And I can get a message from a teacher, or if I'm in there, I can see that they said they were frustrated or they were angry that day. And the parent can see that too when they get home in their folder. And these are part of that program. I go in and do a follow-up lesson. Core Central Values has lessons, it has games, it has book recommendations, or it gives me the option to do one of my other lessons that I like to do when I go in the classroom.
For January, you're talking about responsibility. What's that mean? You're really good at your work. I can be responsible for watching me baby. What does that mean? I'm gonna take less leave. Means I'm taking care of something that I need to take care of. I am gonna read a.
I like that his answer was to take care of the baby. This is what he knew as a responsibility. And I read a story about a student not doing his homework because he kept blaming it on going to his brother's basketball game and doing what his sister needed to do. So we talked with the students about taking responsibility for their work and their homework as we finish the school year strong. I like the quote that went with our values this year is let every man shovel out his own snow and the whole city will be passable. So if we all stick together and keep working together and do our part and responsibility, even our students, we can get through the school year and be stronger than ever. That is all that I have. I thank y'all for your time this afternoon and for letting me talk a little bit about social emotional programs. I'll turn to something else on.
You. Yeah, you. I can see inside your head. No, don't. I really.
You warned me about this before I started. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Great presentation. You're exactly right. All is working together, and that's a great message. We had a successful first semester, and we're looking forward to a successful second semester, but we all have to work together to do that under the circumstances. Great presentation. And the social emotional aspect is very important in any school year, but it's magnified in this school year that we need to make sure we're meeting those needs of our students. And our counselors are doing a great job of doing that, not only for the students in person, but also with online materials also. Items that they can look at online. So great job, our counseling staffs, and a great job in the social and emotional aspect. Thank y'all for being here today. And before I wrap up my superintendent's report, I also want to point out one, a retired DeSoto County School employee who is here. That is Dr. Janice Barton. Dr. Barton did a great job serving our school districts as an academic director and also as assistant principal at Hernando Elementary School at one time and principal at Oak Grove Central Elementary School. So we're glad to have you here today. And Mr. Triplett, thank you for preparing this program, and that concludes our superintendent.
At this time, it's time for the attorney report, Mr. Keith.
Yes, ma'am. There are two matters that we need to discuss, a potential litigation matter, personal matter, both of which we discussed in executive session.
This time, it's time for the approval of minutes from the December 3rd and December 15th, 2020 meetings. I need a motion to approve. I make that motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have items A through DD. Are there any changes that need to be made to the consent agenda? Seeing none, do you have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is new business. And item A under new business is method of compensation for district board member Charles Barton.
Okay, I have the pleasant task of explaining to Mr. Martin how much money he's gonna make for this effort that he's going to endure. All you board members realize you're not on this bill for money. This is a statutory amount that is provided by the legislature. The only, but the individual member does have three options. And Mr. Martin, you know, you have three options. You can get a per diem in the amount of $67 for no more than 36 hours on the school board. Your second choice is an annual salary in the amount of $2,400, or you can reject compensation completely. You have to make that decision yourself. There's a form that Beth has that you will be filling out and signing, and she will then include that as part of it. So we can take care of that.
I'll go with the 2,400.
Okay, well, that's a very wise choice. Thank you very much again. I just want to tell you, as a board attorney and school board stuff, I appreciate what school board members do. There's no way you can compensate school board members any amount of money for what they do, because they do it because they love children and they love what they do. You're not. Thank you very much.
Mr. Keith's explanation, do you have a recommendation?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, it will not require a board vote because this is just action by Mr. Barton himself.
Okay.
And he'll fill out the form and give it to Beth, and it will be included as part of the minutes.
All right, next on the agenda is item B, bids for classroom additions at Lewisburg High School. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We is working on the 15th of December for bids for the addition of 8 classrooms at Lewisburg High School. 11 bids were submitted, and it's my recommendation to accept the lowest and best bid, TDL contractors.
With Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid for TDL Contractors Incorporated for classroom additions at Lewisburg High School.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item C is contractual agreement, TDL Contractors Incorporated. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We're asking permission from the board to enter into a contractual agreement with TDL Contractors Incorporated for classroom additions at Lewisburg High School.
With Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with TDL Contractors Incorporated.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the contractual agreement?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item D is bids, access points for each DCS high school.
Yes, ma'am. On December the 16th, we opened bids for access points for all our high schools. There were 3 bids were considered. It's my recommendation to accept the lowest and best bid from Logistics.
Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the bids for the lowest and best bid for logistics and access points for Suffolk County high schools.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to accept the bids?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item E are bids, network switches for each DCS high school.
Yes, ma'am. We opened up bids for network switches on the 15th of December. 2 bids were considered. It's my recommendation to accept the best bid by Cyber Technology Security.
With Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend that the board to approve the best bid from Cyber Technology for the network switches for DeSoto County School High School.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the bids? So moved. Do I have a second?
I make that motion,
Do I
or
have a
second, sorry about that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item F are bids for drainage improvements at Chickasaw Elementary.
Yes, ma'am. We opened the bids on the 8th for drainage improvement at Chickasaw. We had 9 vendors submit bids. My recommendation is set the low bid from Woods Construction Services, LLC.
With Mr. Williams' explanation, do we have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the bid from Woods Construction Services for the drainage improvements at Chickasaw Elementary School.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to accept the bids for drainage improvements?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item G is contractual agreement, Woods Construction Services LLC, Chickasaw Elementary. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We just requested permission from the board to enter into a contractual agreement with Woods Construction Services.
With Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend that the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with Woods Construction Services for the drainage improvements at Chickasaw Elementary School.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the contractual agreement?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Item H are bids, drainage improvements at Center Hill Elementary School and Olive Branch Intermediate School. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We got more drainage issues. We opened these bids on the 8th of December. It's my recommendation to accept the lowest bid from Woods Construction Services.
Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend that the board to approve the bid from Woods Construction Services, the drainage improvements at Center Hill Elementary School and Olive Branch Intermediate School.
Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the bids for the drainage improvements? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item I is contractual agreement with Woods Construction Services LLC. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. We're requesting permission from the board to enter into a contractual agreement with Construction Services for drainage improvements at Center Hill Elementary and Olive Branch Intermediate School.
With Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with Woods Construction Services for the drainage improvements at Center Hill Elementary School and Olive Branch Intermediate School.
Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the contractual agreement with Woods Construction Services?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item J is request to pay vendor purchasing rule issue at Walls Elementary School. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. In your package, you'll see a letter from Walls Elementary School requesting permission from the board to pay reading horizons for training they completed. While the school did follow the procedures in getting the contract approved by the board, they had the training before the PO was approved. The current principal requested that we send someone from Central Service about the trainer staff. That has been taken care of, and we hope that this will not happen.
With Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the purchasing rule issue at Walls Elementary School.
Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to pay the Walls Elementary School? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item K is certification of bank reconciliations for November 2020. Mr. Williams.
That's part of my presentation.
Yeah.
All accounts have been reconciled.
With no
Without
exception.
exception.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. With Mr. Williams' explanation, do you have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliation for November 2020.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the certification of bank reconciliation?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item L is revised board policy IHCA valedictorian salute.
Yes, ma'am. Beginning with the 2021-2022 entering freshmen, we're asking to revise this policy to state that in order to be considered for valedictorian or salutatorian, a student must successfully complete one of the 3 endorsement areas, which are above the Mississippi Department of Education's minimum requirements and are in alignment with our current requirements for valedictorian salute.
Based on Ms. Hasselman's explanation, do you have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy IHCA valedictorian salute.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the revised board policy IHCA?
Make that motion.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item M is revised board policy IHCB, graduates of distinction and special distinction.
Yes, ma'am. This revision is being requested for the same reason as the policy above it. Again, we're asking that for entering freshmen next school year, that in order to be considered as a graduate of distinction or special distinction, that they must successfully complete an endorsement.
Ms. Hasselman's explanation, do you have recommendations for those?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy IHCB, graduates of distinction and special distinction.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the revised board policy IHCB?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item N is revised board policy IJ, technology and instruction, electronic information resources.
Yes, ma'am. This policy is being revised to include further guidance for our students and parents as we continue to progress toward a one-to-one district. Guidance for lost, stolen, or damaged devices, fee information, user data, and the use of personal laptops or tablets have been added.
With Ms. Hasselman's explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy IJ for technology and instruction, electronic information resources.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve the revised board policy IJ?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item O is revised board policy IJVA, personal electronic devices, laptops, tablets, and mobile devices.
This policy addresses our students being able to use their personal electronic devices at school. This policy is being revised to state that in grades where students are issued a laptop or a device by the district, that those students will not be allowed to use their personal laptops or tablets in place of a district device. The goal of the one-to-one initiative is to provide all students with the same type of device that can be maintained and monitored by the district.
Ms. Hasselman's explanation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Usleton?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy IJVA, personal electronic devices, laptops, tablets, and mobile devices.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve revised board policy IJVA?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item P is personnel validating.
Personnel packet this afternoon, pages 1 through 4, recommendation. Pages 5 through 7, personnel changes. Page 8 is provisional payment of the following teachers that are waiting Mississippi educator license for those 4. We pay the rate of $75 a day. Page 9 is a memo for myself for the board to reclassify one of the 3 previously board approved distance learning teaching positions. We'd like to do one of those to an EL teaching position, becoming effective January 8, 2020. Page 10 is a memo for myself. Disregard previously board approved resignation of Ms. Odom in transportation on December 3rd, 20. The correct action should have been a job change resignation. She was simply moving from bus driver to super sub position. Page 11 is a memo for myself on the approval to continue providing sick leave and expanded FMLA as described under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. We'll continue this through March 31st, 2021. The original federal mandate expired on December 31st, 2020. However, employers have been provided options to extend this through March 31st, 2021. Page 12 is a memo from Mr. Jenkins, Coach Jenkins, our athletic director, on a power professional who will volunteer and assist with coaching of the 2021 school year at Center Hill High School baseball. Page 13 is a memo from Ms. Haslund, superintendent, on approval for Mr. Teal, the adjunct college algebra instructor, as we do credit with these two sections of college algebra at Center Hill High School and be paid $2,500 per section. Page 14 is a memo from Ms. Yoss, our director of special education, on the request for additional psychologist position. This position is needed based on the number of students needing to be evaluated. Page 15 is a memo from Ms. Goss on request for 6 additional teacher assistants and PCAs to be used as needed if students need this requirement for additional support. Fill needs as they arise as we register for the spring semester. Page 16 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Goss on Ms. Alville, who will now take over as next chair at Walls Elementary School, to replace someone Ms. Abu will be paid at $27 per hour and will finish on 6/30/21. Page 17 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Goss on Ms. Powell, who will take over next chair at Fort Lake Elementary, replacing Ms. Time. Ms. Powell will be paid $27 per hour, and she will begin on 1/4/21 until we'll begin on 6/30/21. Page 18 is the academic services flow chart. Just have removal of school level elementary guidance counselors, school level secondary guidance counselors. Pages 19 to 24 is your elementary and secondary counselor's job description. You just have removal with reports to the director of elementary and secondary education.
Based on Mr. Alexander's presentation, do you have a recommendation, Mr. Olson?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
With Mr. Usleton's recommendation, do I have a motion to approve personnel?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now is the time in our meeting where we have public comment. If you will be commenting on your student's teacher, or your student's grades, you will need to be heard in executive session. Does anyone wish to make a public comment? Having no request to appear on the agenda. Okay. Now I need a motion for consideration of closed session to determine whether the board should enter executive session for the following matters: potential litigation and personnel matter. Need a motion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Someone will come back and inform you whether we stay in executive session. The recess meeting is scheduled for January 21st, 2021 at 10 a.m.
I was about to say, we don't come. This is what it is, Grandy, we'll come back. Listen, I'm reading those notes.